So this is Magic. She's the Andalusian mare that we've been training. And we're just bringing her down through the village now. We've got some ladies riding in front of her, which is always a good thing to be able to show, just the fact that, you know, she's not rushing to hurry up with the other horses or anything like that. She'll still do as she's told. She's not calling out to them either. So you never know if you're going to meet any riders or any other horses while you're out on a drive, so it's a lovely thing to be able to do with them, take them out in company. And if you watch here, we're coming down into the water. No hesitation when she goes in, and obviously you've got all the different pull of the carriage. So by that I mean obviously it gets heavier as it goes into the water. You've got the drag of the water, gravel on the bottom makes the wheels sink, makes it harder work for her. But she'll pull it on now, no rearing or plunging, just getting on and doing her job. And it's slightly uphill going up there. Well, we've got Magic in a different carriage today. This one's got solid wheels. So she's been in both pneumatic tired and solid wheeled vehicles. I mean obviously this one's a little bit more rattly because of the solid tyres. So she's got no problem pulling this. She's working well, still only being driven on a soft piece of rubber. So we've asked Fletcher to canter her into the water today. You can see she's going in, no hesitation at all, going forwards, which is exactly what we want to see. And on the exit this time, I've asked him just to bring her back a little bit when she comes out of the water, just to show that she'll pull it up this slight slope after being asked to come back to a standstill. And you can see there, stand and then pull it straight on again. Now we've got Magic's owner on the reins. So it just shows that the mare will do what she's asking. I mean obviously she doesn't know the mare, she's not, I mean obviously she knows her from owning her, but she doesn't know her in terms of how she goes in harness, because the last time she saw her was when she sent her away to be broken to drive previously, and obviously things didn't go so well, so consequently she's got to learn how to drive the horse. You can see there, even though she made a slight mistake, the mare's still willing to pull it up that slope on uneven ground, so that's a lovely thing to see.
Sat up behind just following this lady driving her horse. Now this is this Andalusian. The problem we've got, we need to keep her on, you know, get her on the reins as much as we can, and she must listen to what we're saying. We've got Fletcher up there with a list of instructions on how to drive this mare, because obviously this is the mare that wouldn't move forward when you asked her to, wouldn't do anything, she froze to the ground. Well, you know, it's a very difficult thing. We take it for granted maybe, which is you know, our fault of how to drive this horse, but it's now having to teach the owner how to drive the horse. If you put just a little tiny bit too much weight on the reins, the horse will stop dead and not go on. Or that's what the horse was like 2 weeks ago. Since then, we're developing this head carriage, but we're able to put a little bit more weight on the bit and that type of thing. So let's wave these cars on. So it's a very, very delicate thing to do. I mean, we don't take any notice of it because we do it all the time, you know, having to get the horse's head carriage right to balance. But apply too much pressure and you'll unnerve the mare and she'll start to doubt whether she can pull the load. That's the way we read the horse. On the other end, not enough firmness with her, and the mare would be capable of taking a liberty, in i.e. she could, you know, just not do as her told. So she needs to do as her told. So trot on when she's told. Obviously, when you're out in the traffic, the horse has got to obey at every command you give it. We've got it to that stage now where it does everything we want it to do. It's safe to take on the road. Everything's there. Now we've got to try and train and do our best to train the owner in the time we've got, or retrain the owner to drive this horse as she needs to be driven for her to continue, you know, to be safe on the public highway. And that's what we're doing at the moment. So at the moment everything's going just fine, and we've had stop starts, she's had hill starts, as you can see on the film, you know, going uphill, down, she had to stop at a junction, pull out, and she's managed it just right. If you had too much weight on your hands at a junction, she wouldn't pull on. You know, it's a very, very awkward situation to be in. You know, when we know and you're trying to pass that experience, which is what it really is, onto somebody that, you know, doesn't have it. All we can do is do the best we can. So that's the purpose of taking 3 hours out of the day to do this, and that's why we don't teach. The very reason we don't teach, we're going to take 3 hours out of the day, possibly 3.5, to show this lady how to drive her own horse. But obviously, you know, she needs a backstepper or somebody with her when you're driving a horse. So that's a, you know, obviously a need, and especially so with this one. Things I don't like at the moment that the lady's doing, she will keep tickling this horse with the whip. But the horse don't need that. We never see us use a whip. It's done on the voice. We just need to ask her to trot on and she'll trot on. She'll trot, she'll walk, she'll do everything she does. All her training, you never see us put a whip on her. So, you know, that's one thing we've got ruled her. But if we turn around now and say to her, put the whip away, don't be using that, you don't need to use it, that's going to unnerve the lady. So it's just a catch-22 all the time of getting the thing, you know, just right. And the only interest I have is not in the lady. I don't mean that with any disrespect, is the horse. The horse has had a bad start, and we've got her right, and let's just hope to God that that's kept going. But I will tell her when we get down to this to ease off on the whip and not, you know, carry it if you must. I know the British Driving Society say carry the whip, but if the horse will go on voice commands, why do we need a whip? You know, if the horse will answer immediately, you know, you see when I'm driving it or Fletcher's driving it, whenever you use a whip, you just tell it to trot on and away it will go, it will do its job. Or steady and it will come back. You know, so it doesn't need that. But, you know, this is the problem, you've got a different style of driving. And the horse has got to adapt to it because we don't own the horse. All we've done is get it to pull and do its job. So it's really awkward. Very, very awkward. Instructed her not to use a whip, she put it back in the stock. A lot of people would disagree with that and say the correct way to drive is to have a whip. My answer to that is all our horses know what a whip is. They've been touched in front of the pad and behind the collar with a whip, and they've also been touched everywhere else with a whip. So not that they're afraid of a whip in any way, but if the horse will go on your voice, why ever would you want to hit it with a whip?
On this road here, there's a bit of a rise, so you can see Magic's coming along here, still only being driven in a soft piece of rubber, and she's going willingly up the hill, so you can see she's not being hit with a whip or struggling to pull the carriage. She's getting into the collar and continuing on at the trot because she's been asked to, which shows that she's happy to do it. So for this mare, that's a really, really lovely thing to see.
Yeah, come over here and talk to her.
Yeah.
She likes people, doesn't she? She's under it, she does really, where she's been treated. But, you know, she's got one. What I'm saying with this mare is, what we've done, you're happy with.
I'm ecstatic with her.
The point is, it's down to you now. Now, that's an awful thing to pass over to somebody, because we've got, you know, obviously a lot of experience because of the time we've been doing it. So we're asking you now to take horse on that you no longer really know in the point of the training she's received. Her response is different, everything is different about her. It's like having a new horse. And you're in a new discipline. And you're with horse that if you put half a pound too much weight on the reins, the mare's going to stop or wonder what you require of her. On the other end, you've still got to drive the horse and be in charge of the horse to be on the public highway. That's your duty, to be able to take the horse. Well, we know what we've done is right, she's safe, she does the job and everything. And it's a lot on your back, and that is the, you know, it's not like you live around the corner, is it, where you could, you know, come every day.
Okay, well I brought my mare Magic. I bought her as a 6-month-old weanling with the express purpose of riding and driving her. She started riding, was very pleased with her, and I sent her away to be trained for driving, and I brought back a very traumatised horse that wouldn't drive. She was very panicky and very worried about everything. So then I had a decision, do I only ride her or do I continue with what I'd set out with? So having seen horse-drawn promotions on the internet, I spoke to Mel and Barry and brought her down here. She came initially for a week to see where they could go with her and if it was something they could manage. And here we are at the end of the time. You can see on the videos I've got a very happy, confident horse. No obvious signs of that trauma, although I'm aware that it's still in her memory. A happy, confident horse to ride and drive, which is what I always wanted. So I'm a very happy lady and I've got a very lucky horse.